There's been some amazing tarot tags going around lately. So I was tagged by the beautiful Rachele over at Amethyst Ascension and Carla over at Miss Kulala's Mystical Musings, and I was delighted. Honestly, this is such a fun tag. It's the hashtag Tarot Friends tag. And of course, we are having glorious weather here in Ireland. So it felt like a crime not to take y'all outside and do this outside. Right, let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Mand, and today's video I am partaking in the hashtag Tarot Friends tag, which is a beautiful take on Nova Monday's tag, which was 10 decks for 10 tarot tubers. And so I did partake in that. I kind of did like a hybrid version. Of course, I broke the rules. I couldn't just pick 10. So by the time this video goes up, that video will be out. Hopefully all going well. But I picked 5 viewers and 5 tarot tubers. And I agree with Rachele and Carla that I hate the idea of anyone feeling excluded, because I watch so many amazing creators, and sometimes I'll admit I am a disaster when it comes to your usernames or your channel names. Oh my goodness, it's a little bit windy, but that's okay. I'm not complaining because it's quite warm. You can hear the birds and everything. It's fantastic. So I'm not going to chat too long because I'll be honest, the sun is eventually going to move around and I'm going to get scorched. So now that the sun has moved just enough for me to do this video, let's get into the amazing prompts. So I'm sorry if I'm looking off because I had to take a screenshot. Now, some of the questions, and I'll let you know which questions they are, I did skip because I didn't actually have an answer for them, nor do I have, I don't have enough information as such on it. But we'll get into it and we can discuss it then. So I don't know how much editing will be done on this, so we'll take it as it is. So the first one we have is your favorite color, and my favorite color, believe it or not, is not blue. Actually, it's purple. I love all shades of purple. One of my favorite colors. Or black. Black is another one that is like a staple, a must. So I know Jackie's still on a break. He's having a great holiday. So the deck I picked is the Circe Oracle, because this is just all the juicy goodness purples. So they're the backs. It's a really light purple. So as you can see, and it's right up my alley. But that is the Circe Oracle. It fits all that like purple pastels and the deep purples, and I just love it. So I'm gonna keep going. I won't stop just yet. But the next question then is your favorite crystal. So I bet if you're around a long time, you'll probably be able to guess what my favorite crystal is. But I did bring it. Is amethyst. So this is one of many pieces that I own. It's more a chevron amethyst, as we can see here. But I really love this crystal because it's one of the first bigger ones that I got. And like I have a small little sphere, and then I have Svi. You all know Svi. And if not, you'll see it when I do like face down videos. No, front facing videos for when I'm at my desk in my office. But it's a very high vibrational kind of psychic crystal, so it helps tune you into your third eye and your crown chakra. And so the deck that I picked for that I feel is a very high vibe spiritually is the Work Your Light Oracle. We can see a theme here, can we? I think we all know my love of these style of decks, but this is such a spiritual deck. It's very high vibe. It's very third eye, crown chakra. I think there's a star chakra I hear people talk about as well, but that's not really something I personally have looked into as of right now. But Hold on, let me see, will it focus? Yeah. I'm gonna have to stay behind the cards. But it's such an amazing high vibe deck. Like, look at that. What's that? Star Mother. So it is a little bit starseedy, but I don't mind elements of that, if I'm being honest. Well, it's not something that like I relate to or behind the card I work with or anything like that. I do like Lemuria, and then you have, what is it, Atlantis, and there's another one as well, Mintukan or something like that. I'm not sure where it is, but yeah, I like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that totally fits the vibe. So the third question is my life path number. So I had to actually Google what my life path number is now. So I don't have much information or knowledge, not information but more knowledge than anything else. And I'm a life path number 8, and here it says, which I'm very sad because I wanted to be 7 because it's mystic, but unfortunately I am not a 7, I'm an 8, and it's a powerhouse and figure of authority. So it's prosperity and generosity, and then you also have like, what was the other one, like influencer I think was another one on it, and yeah, the influencer was another one. So I don't know, would I consider myself an influencer? Maybe, I don't know, you guys can tell me, but I don't feel like a content creator maybe, but influencer, I don't know, maybe. But I have the wrong deck out. I didn't know what deck to pick for that. I'm just trying to see. I have this deck, but that's not the deck that goes with it. So it's more authority. That's what I was going with. I was like, why did I pick this one? It's the authority, assertiveness, I suppose. So the deck that I actually picked for this one was the Enchanted for Hawks. I was wondering because I was like, did I pick it for this prompt? But I did. And the reason I picked it is because this is a very assertive deck and very sure of itself, and it does take the lead. It's a very how would you say, like a leader, like I suppose like the Emperor. So there's that kind of sureness. So it's like the Emperor and Empress combined, if you were to put it, the energy of this. And yeah, this is the one that I would have picked for kind of that authority. Influencer, I'm not so sure. I suppose it does influence me to be better and to look at things from a different perspective that I mightn't have, or that I chose not to see as well. This deck does tend to show elements that I'm like refusing to look at. So it does, yeah, I suppose influence me to do that. Okay, I must get the next batch of decks out. So the next prompt is Myers-Briggs personality, which was really fun because I had to go online and I had to look up to see what was my personality trait in that. And so I am INFJT. So it's an advocate is the title, or the personality type apparently, that I got when I did the question. And just to give you a bit of, like, I'm not 100% sure the whole meaning behind the Myers-Briggs personality test or anything like that. I suppose it gives you an insight into kind of who you are in your personality and different traits of yourself. So here it says for me is you possess a unique combination of idealism and insight that sets you apart in today's world. I'm not complaining, that's good. Your rich inner world is characterized by complex emotions, yes, vivid imagination, yes, and a deep well of empathy that allows you to connect with others on a profound level, which I would say is, yeah, I would agree with that. You have an unwavering commitment to your principles and an intense desire to make a positive impact on the world around you, which I would say is pretty true. So I kind of went off of the whole idealism and insight and complex emotions and like vivid imagination when I was picking the deck for this. Now there's lots of decks I feel like would fit this category, excuse me, but the deck that I picked was the Labanco Tarot. And I feel like this is such, one, sparks so much for my vivid imagination because the colors are amazing on this. I must be careful with this one because I know there's a bit of nudity in it, but in saying that, nudity aside with this deck, the way that this is very complex and very detailed and very imaginative, and I like the way it goes more to that kind of shadowy aspect of the mind and how it makes you look at things, again, a bit like the Enchanted for Hawks, it makes you look at things a little bit different. And it's just very insightful. I'm trying to see here because I know there was a word here that was like, that's how it, like, it covers, yeah, the complex emotions. I mean, look at that. The Ten of Swords. I mean, it's amazing. Anyway, it's really pretty. I really want to work with it now. So, while I'm putting this back into the box, because I'm afraid all my cards will blow all around the place, and I don't really want to spend time picking them all up. The next question we have is the current favorite show you are watching. So if you don't know me, I'm not really a huge TV person, so I don't watch many shows, but I can tell you the last show that I have watched recently. I'm still trying to figure out when I'm doing front facing where I'm looking, so I'm looking here. The last show that I watched was Normal People. It was with, he's an Irish actor, it's a Paul Mescal, and it's based on Sally Rooney's book. Is it like a 10-12 part series or something like that? I found it so good, but I have no deck that kind of fits. Well, it wouldn't be my favorite current show that I'm watching because I'm not watching any TV shows currently at the moment. It's more YouTube or shorts, like, or TikToks, I should say. So I don't really have anything that would fit that category because, again, it's very hard for me. I'm having a brain fart there. It's very hard for me to find a show that I really, really like, and then I'll sit down and consistently watch. Jamie thinks it's hilarious because he's like, how do you start a show and just walk away and not finish it? I'm like, because it stopped being interesting to me, so I'm just not going to finish it. So that's kind of where I'm at with TV shows. So it's more YouTube that I would watch. So I didn't really have anything that's my favorite because I like lots of different things. So just to give you a bit of an insight, I love really creepy paranormal videos. I love Mr. Nightmare's stories. I also love kind of very spiritual videos as well. So things that kind of cover the more out there thought process. That's very cool. I love conspiracy theories. I love my tarot tube. Of course I do. One of my favorite things to watch as well. So yeah, that kind of covers that area, but I don't have a deck that fits it. So the next one then is the Sun, Moon and Rising. There is bugs. We'll just move them to the side. Sun, Moon and Rising sign associations. Pick one or all. So my Sun is Pisces, my Moon is Aquarius, and my Rising is Leo. Now, my astrologers out there can go figure that one out and what all that means. I only know basics, if even at best. So I picked one. I picked Pisces because I am truly, because I remember Googling it and looking it up, I am truly like a water sign. So I'm very much in my Pisces. And so the deck I picked for that because I'm very Pisces. I'm pure water baby. I adore the water. And I'm also very dreamy and can be away with the fairies and things like that. Is the Healing Waters. So again, we can see a theme here. I find it interesting there's actually a theme with the decks that I've picked. There's just chaos everywhere here. So it's the only water deck I have, which is very interesting considering I really love water. But this is one of the few decks that I really, really love when it comes to the water element. Because I'm not so sure if I'm like kind of the mermaid type interest. I used to love dolphins, so maybe a dolphin deck, but I don't know, is there one? Not that I've come across, but this one scratches that itch on that one. So that is my Pisces deck, I would say. So the next one is most recent movie watched, which is actually very funny because we only just watched a movie there a few days ago. And the movie we watched was Materialists. It's with Chris Evans, Dakota Johnson, and Pedro Pascal. And she's basically a matchmaker, and she's kind of in this love triangle with her current boyfriend, who's Pedro Pascal, and her ex, who's Chris Evans, and it's kind of this whole circle. It's all around like love and whatnot. It's fine. We still actually, hopefully by the time this goes up, we've only 20 minutes left to watch, but I found it okay. It's mediocre. It was fine. It was just something to kind of watch and pass the time of a Saturday evening. So the deck that I picked, because it was around love, is the Rose Oracle. It's the only deck that I feel like really does capture, and also like the Divine Feminine, because I feel like, you know, in it, Dakota's trying to take like a stand in her own life, in her own love life, especially because that's what it's based around, and how she thinks the relationship that she wants is where she wants to get married. So the rich guy, what did she say, like stupidly absorbed amount of money, absorbed, anyway, a ridiculous amount of money. And you can see like she thought that's where she wanted to get married, but then she realized that that's not it at all, that her love was always with her ex-boyfriend, kind of thing. You know where this is going. It's kind of like real romantic. It's not even a rom-com, because I didn't find it particularly funny, but coffee's needed. I really feel like this touches into that beautiful Divine Feminine energy, and how it's okay that sometimes we want to take the lead and charge of our own love life. Of course we do. We want to make the choices that are right for our heart, not just what our head is saying. So that's that deck. I won't show you all the cards because I think I've talked about this a lot, but yeah, really good. Okay, so this last bit might be a little bit chaotic, but we're going to roll with it anyway, because that's just how we do it here. So the next one is I can feel it here, I'm so sorry. Is your favorite music genre. And I like all kinds of music, if I'm being honest. I like classical, I love Hans Zimmer, so I love the soundtrack to the movies. I love pop, I love rock and classical. I think I said classical at the start. I love country, I like all kinds of music, but currently at the moment I'm kind of liking more that rock, darker, like just lots of noise and just rage. It's great. That's where I'm at with my music at the moment. It's like lots of rage, and it's like great. It's not heavy metal, but it's supposed to be more like rock metal type thing. So the deck I picked for that is the Earth and Bone Oracle. I was like, it really fits. Look at that. I love this. So they're the backs, and I just thought it fit the genre so good. Because, I mean, look at that. Just letting all that rage out, like, scream with an enchanter. Like, yes, please. Do you know this music that you can just get lost in? And it gets you in your feels, but in the best way. And it's like letting go of that anger and rage and whatnot. Not that I'm angry at anything in particular. I seem to have like pent up energy that just needs to go somewhere. So that's where I am at. Hold on, I think my washing machine is beeping. I'll be back. And I'm back. It was beeping. How I even heard that, I have no idea. But anyway, so the next one is your favorite season of the year. I'll give you a second. Did you guess Halloween? Well, it's not Halloween, it's autumn. I'm an autumn girly. I've definitely come to the realization, no. I love all seasons. I love what spring stands for. I love summer. I love the warm weather now and wearing like lighter clothes. It's great. I love autumn though. And I love winter because I love the rest and whatnot. But I love autumn. I just love autumn. That's it. So the deck that I picked is Seasons of the Witch, the Samhain Oracle. Of course I do. Of course I do. I just love spooky season. I have like the whole Nightmare Before Christmas. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Yes. Because again, it's like cozy and you know, the dark evenings and all the cozy little lights, and, you know, you have a reason to kind of slow down and just take rest. Sometimes I feel like summer is just too busy. I just love that, and like the connection with ancestors, like All Hallows Eve, yes. I don't know, I just really love Samhain. I love the remembrance of those that have passed, and then the kind of reflecting on the year that has just gone and whatnot. So yeah, that's my favorite season. Well, it's autumn, but I picked Samhain because Samhain is definitely my favorite. So, current book you are reading. So the current book I'm reading at the moment, my reading has kind of slowed down. Sometimes I like power through several books, and then other times I kind of hit like a plateau where I'm just plumossing along a little bit. So the book I'm actually reading is by Heidi, and she's always in the comments, she's great, but it's called The Prophecy. It's the Kingdom of Ushnak, and this is book number 1, and it is all about Brianna Brennan, who is from like the modern world, and then she's brought into this magical world, to the kingdom of Ushnak, and she's to save the king, and there's this whole prophecy about how she's going to save the king and they're going to get married, and it's fantastic. It's really, really good. So again, but it's just, I'm kind of in one of these where it's just taking me a bit of time to get through it. I'm enjoying it. I don't think you need to try and read like 10 books in a month. Anybody that can do that, fair play to you. But I read one fiction, one non-fiction, so it takes time, and I haven't even picked up my non-fiction in a while. So we're not going to talk about it. Life has been lifing, and I'm not making any apologies with where my interests are going. So the deck that I picked for that, of course, because it's like all based around my Irish heritage and things like that, is the Celtic Moon Oracle. It's Sacred Ireland Celtic Moon. It's by Moon Mana, and it is fab. So these are the backs. How pretty are they? But it's all about Ireland. And is that, no, that's Newgrange. But I know they have the, is this the Fire Festival? So the Fire Festival is held, yeah, the Hill of Ward Sacred Site. So the Fire Festival is actually held at the Hill of Ushnak. So Hill of Ushnak is actually a sacred place here in Ireland. It's up near, it's in Meath. I always get confused, Meath or Westmeath, one of them anyway. So it's near like the Hill of Tara and all that, and Newgrange. So all them sacred sites seem to be all within distance of each other. So let me find here. Oh my goodness, guaranteed I won't be able to find it now. Or I've already shown it to you. Ah, here it is. So the Hill of Ushnak Sacred Site. So yeah, I feel like that. This one's very fitting because you have the Hill of Ushnak card in it as well. So the next prompt then is a deck that fits your humour style. And Mr. Bug, go be free. The deck, or the deck that I picked for my sense of humour, which can be a little bit long, there's sarcastic side, but there's also, hello, to be honest, I definitely come from a family, and I don't know if it's an Irish thing as well, but there's kind of that sense of, maybe for some people it might be a bit dark or morbid. It's just how we see humour, is trying to make light of sometimes heavy situations. And so the deck that I picked for that is actually the Magic of You. So it's sometimes finding humour in difficult situations. Now this isn't actually a funny haha deck or anything like that, but how sometimes things can seem very overwhelming and intense. Why is that? That card is bent. Why? Anyway, there's beauty to be found in it. For example, just to give you a bit of an insight, as most of you know, we had a bereavement in our family, and in Ireland funerals are huge in their whole celebration and whatnot, and that's exactly what it is. It's a celebration, and I got to meet my cousins that I haven't seen in ages, and while yes, of course we were sad, we also had such a laugh. Now, while some people might think that's not appropriate, no, but the person that passed away was quite a character and very, very funny. So in one way I felt like we were capturing the essence of who they were and how they too would have been skitting and laughing, as we like to say here, and trying to find the joy in it. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit on the darker side, maybe, what is it, tongue-in-cheek. Can you hear the cuckoo? It's ridiculously loud. And so the next one then is your Carl Jung archetype. Now, I actually don't have enough knowledge on that, and I wanted to partake in this video, so I quickly researched it, but I feel like it's something that I need to sit down and read a bit more before I actually give like a definitive answer to that. So the next question then is your favorite goddess, and I think most of you probably know at this stage, but my favorite goddess is, of course, Bridget. Is that like stereotypical? Maybe, I don't know. Now, I'm not massive into working with gods and goddesses. I am and I amn't. More goddesses, and we'll get to that in the next question. But Bridget is one of these goddesses that I really connect to. That fiery energy, the spring, the new, the beginnings. It reminds me of finding magic in the mundane, the glimmers, and how there's beauty in new beginnings and starting afresh. And also, I'm very proud as well, because for a very, very long time, Bridget here in Ireland was only considered a saint, but she wasn't seen or recognised as a goddess. So the fact that now she is recognised as a goddess is great. It's really, really good. So then your favourite god. Now, I still kind of sometimes battle with that religious, my Catholic upbringing, on how God is the one God in the sky, in the heavens, right? But I also know that you mean gods as in the male, the masculine side of the goddess, right? And so it made me think, it's like, I don't actually really work with any gods as such. It's not something that I have been called to work with, which is very interesting. So it's something I want to explore. So I can't really answer that question because there is no real male aspect on the god that I would work with or have worked with. It's not something that has piqued my interest. I think because sometimes I can be very much in my masculine energy, so I lean more towards that goddess energy to help balance that out. And last but certainly not least is a deck that feels most like your lineage. Now, I found this one very interesting because I have many different lineages, which I think most of us do. So I have like Dutch, and I have Indonesian, and I have Irish. So I stuck with my Irish lineage because it's a side of me that took me very, very long time to lean into, and I don't want to say accept, obviously, but it was a part of me that I found very hard to connect with, that Irish side of me. Even though I was born in Ireland, I live in Ireland, I find it very hard to connect because you're constantly kind of battling with the religious aspect of things that have been taught to you and to the pagan side. So there is that constant battle. But obviously as you get older and more information is being released and things like that, it's just easier to learn more on Ireland, because I feel like a lot of it was also brushed under the rug or hidden as well. So, you know, I feel like there's a lot of things about Ireland that aren't always shown, because we were at one point a very pagan country, very Celtic country. And so the deck that I picked for that is the Celtic Book of the Dead, and I love this because it is the ancient Irish text of the voyage of Mael Dúnan, I think, or Maldunan, I'm not sure, I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Of course, we were taught very basic Irish as we grew up here in Ireland, so my Irish would be mediocre, middle. I mean, the way it works here in the schooling system is like you learn it from primary school, so you would imagine with all the years that we've been in school that I would be pretty fluent, but we're not, because they teach it so boringly. If they did it in a conversational aspect, you'd learn it way quicker, but you're learning, obviously you have to learn the grammar, which is fine, that's grand, but like we have to learn it in like, oh, he went down to the shop and he got whatever, and then oh, he called to his friends, and it's just, it was so boring at that age. Had they just done it in a conversational aspect where you're just chatting, it's way easier to learn, I think, anyway. So my pronunciations of some words are probably off, but this is the Celtic Book of the Dead, and I know they're a bit tinier than the other cards that I've shown, but I really love this and the artwork, because it really does actually capture Ireland. Like we have here, Ireland, island of plenteous salmon, so we like the salmon of knowledge, which is in our myths. You have the ever-living lady, Baranthius, the apple. I know there was like a puffin card here as well. One second, like even the artwork, I did that last bit out because there was a bit of nudity that was a bit too flashy there now, so it was, but yeah, you kind of get the aspect. I do feel like there is a bit of nudity here, but I'm trying to see, is this the puffin? Yeah, there we go. Island of many birds, and there's the puffins. They're these ones here, they're the puffins. They're so cute. And like the wheel. So yeah, it's a deck that I've kind of dipped in and out of, but I haven't really worked with it all that much, because again, everything takes time, so I'm hoping to kind of make a bit more time. So that is my answers to all the Tarot Friends tags question. Again, thank you so much to Carla and Rachele for tagging me in this. This is so super fun. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see everybody else's response. So as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and remember, stay magical, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.